So this is number 3. Let's look at number 4. Entering orders. We were told that in general, this is according to one of the turtles here. He said that they were told that in general it was better to place limit orders instead of market orders. This is because limit orders offer a chance for better fills and less slippage than do market orders. Now, I know the beginners out there is all of a sudden frowning and saying, what on earth is he talking about? I mean, I'm missing him there. Please don't worry. There's one guy here that said, dear sir, do the webinar presentation be recorded? I have problems with my computer. Yes, don't worry. We record this webinar so you can always look at the webinar afterwards. So then don't worry about that. You'll be able to see it afterwards. Let's get back to this point number 4. A limit order is, I'm not going to go into detail here, is where you don't go into a market execution immediately. You know that the market is either going to pull back or do something like that, and to be able to reduce your risk, you put in a limit order. So price would, for instance, go in the opposite direction. You know it's going to go, if you say you want to sell, then price would first go in the other direction for a buy. So why would you go for a market execution and your nerves is just going to pieces when it goes up? Why don't you go for a limit order so that you know if the price goes up and it touches that line, then it executes. So now it's a lot closer to your risk, and then it would come down. And then also you would easily or more easily reach your take profit that you want. Okay, so I hope that is clear. Then somebody is asking you, what about stop pending orders? Yes, it's a pending order. A limit order is a pending order. So it's just another name. You get a pending orders. You get 2 types of pending order. You get the limit order. So a pending order is basically what I'm talking about here. So if you put the pending order in, yes, you put your stop in also with that pending order. It all depends on what your system say, that where your how long your risk must be or how big your risk must be. So yes, this is much better to use limit orders, because what he says here is limit orders offer a chance for better fills and less slippage. Now, the beginners again would say, what is slippage? Don't worry about slippage now. You will learn about slippage. It's not, don't break your head with slippage. We're going to get to slippage at one point, but at this stage it's not important to you. Let's move on to number 5. Following the rules. Now, this is what Richard Dennis said. Listen to this, and it's amazing. We got this from the Market Wizards, and it is written by a journalist called Jack D. Schwager. And he said, this is what Richard Dennis said. I always say that you could publish my trading rules in the newspaper and no one would follow them. The key is consistency and discipline. Do you listen to those 2 words? Consistency and discipline. Almost anybody can make up a list of rules that are 80% as good as what we taught our people. What they couldn't do is give them the confidence to stick to those rules, even when things are going bad. You should read this again and take the 3 words out of this. And this is the 3 words that we are talking about here. Consistency, discipline, and here at the end he says, what they couldn't do is give them the confidence to stick to those rules even when things are going bad. So even if you have the rules, this is what Richard Dennis says here. Even if he prints these rules in a paper, in all the papers in the world, and you and me would read it, it would mean nothing to us because we won't follow it. And if we follow it, there will be nobody that could give us the confidence to stick to those rules when things are going bad. I suppose when things are going well, it's easy to stick with the rules. But when it turns around and it goes bad, then you need to stick in there. Then you need to hang in there. Okay. So somebody said, yeah, I missed the other thing you mentioned besides slippage. Yes, the other thing was just the fills. The fills is also not very important currently. It's something when you come to be more advanced, then you'll start, working with fills and things like that. But don't worry, I never had anything to do this in my first 2 years of training. So I learned it later on, and really didn't put me back in my training. But it's important for you to eventually know it. But I think now is not the time. We've got more important things to use your memory for currently. So when one writes here now again, when it goes bad, you start looking at the new trading system. Absolutely. I mean, you've been there, you've done it. I see you wear the t-shirt. So it's absolutely so. When things go bad, you start looking for the new system. Isn't it so? Why don't you stick to your system rules if you've got a good mechanical system that shows you make money with it? I mean, that is so simple. So the complete turtle trading system rules were not complicated. In fact, it was plain and simple. But knowing these rules were not enough to make you rich. You have to be able to follow them. And that was the important part. You must be able to follow these rules. If you don't follow these rules, it means nothing. Perhaps the best evidence that this is true is the performance of the turtles themselves. Listen to this. Many of them did not make money. This was not because the rules didn't work. It was because they could not and did not follow the rules. As a result, many days can pass between winning periods, and at times even weeks. Then there won't be any signals coming up. So if you hear me that I'm keeping quiet for a while, unfortunately I'm a male, so I am not multitask like a female, so I can't even just walk in the street and chew chappies at the same time. I can only do one at a time, so I'm trying to read here on the questions and I'm trying to do the webinar, and this is when you hear my mind is just cutting out, but then I'm trying to get it back as soon as possible. So, but let's take it from here. Many days can pass between winning periods, at times even weeks. During these periods, it's easy to come up with reasons to doubt the system. This is important. Somebody said there, you know, and remember what I said there, what the turtles did. You are not supposed, if you decided you're going to trade these currency pairs, you're not supposed to jump around and look at other currency pairs because there's no signals on your current currency pairs. Okay? So during these periods where you see, well, there's nothing coming up, then there's a lot of reasons to start doubt the system and to stop following the rules. Now this is the question that all of a sudden this will jump into your head. What if the rules don't work anymore? What if the markets have changed? What if there's something important missing from the rules? How can I really be sure that this works? I mean, there's a lot of people that will put up their hands now and say, yes, I've been there. Well, I've been there. I've got both my hands in the air now. Because this is what happens to me. The moment you get a time where there's no winnings, or the signals doesn't come up for a while, 2 days, 3 days, and all of a sudden you start asking yourself, what if the rules don't work anymore? What if the markets have changed? I mean, now my system doesn't work anymore. What if there's something important missing from the rules? How can I be really sure that this works? How can I change the rules? Maybe I should jump in here, because you get my point. Now this is that point where you should say, you must remember, and this story tells it about the turtles. One member of the first turtle class who was fired from the program. Listen to this. He was fired from the program before the end of the first year. He suspected early on that information had been intentionally withheld from the group, and eventually became convinced that there were hidden secrets which Richard would not reveal. Now, this particular trader could not face up to the simple fact that this poor performance was due to his own doubts and insecurities which resulted in his inability to follow the rules. This piece of information that I just gave you here is absolutely valuable. You must go out there and look at it again and say, this is it, one of the turtles. I mean, this guy was elected of one of 13 turtles, and after a while, before the first year, he was starting to doubt if Richard Dennis gave him all the secrets and all the rules, because he was starting to doubt if he's not holding back the rules. Now there, can you see where the doubt started? And the moment that doubt got into his mind, then what happened? Then he started losing trades. He started losing stupid trades because he had this doubt. He was doubting the system rules that he got. And what happened eventually? He got fired because of his poor trading results. Now, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know why was that. And I mean, the reason was the doubt. He doubted his rules. He doubted his system. I mean, he doubted Richard Dennis. Goodness gracious, Richard Dennis gave him $2 million to trade off his own money. Why on earth would he withheld some of the secret rules to make him lose? I mean, this is a no-brainer. But let's move on to the next one here. Then somebody has quickly asked me why I would want to use Forex over features. It's a good question that I'm just going to quickly, the reason why I choose Forex above features is easy. I mean, the features market, there's so many things. I suppose he's talking about the stocks, because I don't know much about that part. But I mean, there is, you know, I'm quite comfortable in Forex, because Forex currently is the fastest growing market out there. I mean, the last time I heard, when I started Forex, they were changing hands. I think it was $3 trillion per day was changing hands on this Forex market. And the other day I saw some figures that it's close to $5 trillion a day. So it's a huge growing market. And then on the other side, you know, you have to have more insight about stocks, for instance, you know, about which stocks is good, which stocks is not good, how is their performance, all that kind of stuff. While we, in Forex, I mean, you look at your currency pairs and you would know, call me a lazy guy, or call me an easy guy, but I like it. This is what I like about it. So this is the part that I can give you, and I hope this could answer your question there. So yes, so let's move on.